But first, in the latest installment of We the Voters, we dig deeper into why does a candidate's foreign policy actually matter to us.
Hi, I'm David Milchard, and in case you didn't know, I'm Canadian. Now, up in Canada, we love the whole world, and the whole world loves us, from our adorable moose to our hunky prime minister. The word on the street is, down here in the U.S., you guys don't feel the same way. USA! USA! In fact, in a recent poll, 70% of Americans said that the next president should focus on domestic policy rather than foreign policy. 70%, is that right? Really? Yeah. Well, let's go find out. Excuse me, sir, do you have time to talk to a Canadian? When you're done locking up your bike, may I ask you some questions? Can I ask you some questions, Amo? Guys, someone's finally gonna talk to me. Where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota.
I live in Jersey City.
Nebraska.
I'm Canadian.
Okay, how's the bacon over there?
Oh, buddy. Hey, the election's coming up, right?
I agree. I'm a big political voter. I vote every year.
Yes, high five.
Bam.
Whoa, what are some issues that might influence your vote?
The economy.
Terrorism.
Climate change.
The economy in this country is going to hell.
Foreign policy is definitely up there.
Bringing back a lot of the jobs.
More
job opportunities. Violence against African Americans.
3 important issues when you're gonna help you with your vote.
We work for tip.
So we're hearing a little about foreign policy, but it seems most people are concerned with economy and jobs, which is in line with our polls. In 2016, the issues that matter most to voters, such as jobs, the economy, and terrorism, blow foreign policy out of the water. Even other outranks foreign policy. In fact, in each of the last 50 years, a majority of Americans have agreed that the U.S. should concentrate on their own national problems and not think so much in international terms. Now, I'm just a Canadian, so I don't know much about jobs, economy, or other. But I don't see how you can separate terrorism from foreign policy. You know, maybe people just don't understand what foreign policy is. Could you define foreign policy?
Not right offhand, but you know.
Right.
I guess foreign policy, well, I'm not very familiar with that term.
Foreign policy to me is like stay out of all foreign entanglements, just like George Washington said.
To tell you the truth, I haven't really done any research in foreign anything.
I mean, how it exists, or like.
Well, basically, U.S. foreign policy is the policies of the U.S. government toward the outside world.
Well, that sounds like it's great for governments, but how does that affect individuals?
A lot of the things that we think of as domestic policy that voters really care about actually have a very important foreign policy component.
Look at the economy. In 1980, 70% of clothes bought in the U.S. were made in the U.S. Now it's closer to 2%. Those jeans you're wearing are made from cotton grown in India, woven in Mexico, assembled in Vietnam, and held up by a zipper manufactured by a Japanese conglomerate. So international trade deals are something you interact with every day, whether you know it or not. And we don't just consume. The U.S. is the second largest exporter of goods in the world. Souring international trade agreements could cost us up to $2 trillion and millions of jobs. Or take the environment, an important issue to younger voters, and with good reason. Americans are seeing more effects of climate change every year. But 95% of the world's population lives outside our borders. Alone, we can only do so much. It's going to take international cooperation to solve the problem. And the list goes on. The idea that anything is contained by national borders in this entangled world is outdated.
Okay, wait a second. How do you know so much about foreign policy?
I have a PhD in political science.
Oh, okay, I ran into you. Do you think foreign policy is connected to domestic policy in the sense of, like, economy?
To an extent, yes.
I haven't really thought about it, so.
Would it surprise you that economy and jobs and all of that falls underneath foreign policy?
No.
I mean, what happens here affects the world because we are a global society.
The United States is the second largest exporter in the world, globally. So a good foreign policy, what do you think?
Yeah.
Makes sense to have one?
Oh, yeah.
So if all the issues Americans care about are tied to foreign policy, then Americans do care about foreign policy. They just don't realize it, unlike us Canadians. What? Really? Oh, well, it seems that Canadians rank foreign policy even lower than Americans. If you'll excuse me, I have to get the word out.